Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this week's video, I wanted to share with you guys how much it costs and break down those costs to get your real estate license in North Carolina specifically. Now, some of this stuff, and probably a lot of it, can be applied to other states as well. So if you're in another state and you're looking at it, I would go ahead and give it a watch just so you can see and compare. But if you are in North Carolina, make sure you really tune in, maybe take some notes so you can be aware of these upcoming costs that will come at you if you are in North Carolina. So, first of all, you have to be schooled. Actually, before I get into this, let me introduce myself. Get schooled, wow. My name is Tess, Chason. I'm a licensed realtor in the state of North Carolina, obviously, and I got my real estate license at 18 years old. So let's get into this. Like I said before, you have to get schooled. You have to have a pre-licensing course of 90 hours in the state of North Carolina. You have a couple options here. You could go fully remote and do something like Real Estate U. I was looking at that honestly, and then I really looked at it and I was like, I kind of want a teacher. Real Estate U, something like you're teaching yourself, is probably $200 to $300. I decided to go ahead and invest in one that I really liked. It's Pan School of Real Estate. I passed my exam on the first time. I passed my course exam on the first time. No problems there. They're very, very good. Travis Everett, the teacher, actually has free recordings of his classes on YouTube. If you look up Travis Everett, that's just kind of a shout out for him. But that was around $500, maybe $550, but I'm just gonna go with $500. I think it was $500 for the pre-licensing. Now with that, I had live teaching on Zoom, remote, wherever I wanted to be at. I had classes 3 nights a week for 4 hours, so I kind of got through it really quickly. And I had quizzes to take so I could retain my information. Because sometimes, like, if you don't take a quiz, like a lot of people I know failed because they didn't have a teacher who gave them quizzes. So it's kind of like one of those things, quizzes suck, homework sucks, and you don't have to do it at all, but it's just for a learning tool. But I would recommend doing it because that's what helped me a lot. So after you take your pre-licensing and you pass the course test, you are eligible for the state test. So let's just say, okay, now we're $500 deep, right? And then the state says, oh, you want to take this exam, the final exam? Give me, I think it's $100 or it's $50. I'm pretty sure it's $100. Here, $100. And you're like, okay, so we have $500 plus $100, so $600, right? So let's say you pass it on the first try. Excellent, you don't have to pay that. And you don't have to pay anything else. But let's say you don't, or maybe you failed the state section. You still have to pay another $50 to retake it. So every time you take it after the initial, it's $100 plus $50, $50, $50, $50 until you pass, or until you just decide not to take it. So that is something to keep in mind. It's good. I passed it on the first try. You can watch my video on how I did that in my study resources if you like to, but definitely be prepared for it. It really wasn't entirely too difficult. I would just make sure you're aware of the wording and comfortable with that. Yeah, just go in prepared and confident and just crush it so you knock out those other fees and you can get your license sooner. Which, speaking of, that is the next fee. To get active and able to sell houses and help people buy houses as a real estate agent, to be active, right? You have to be signed to a firm, brokerage, right? More fees are coming your way because if you sign with somewhere like Keller Williams, you're probably gonna pay about $1,000 in sign-on fees. Now, somewhere like where I'm at, EXP, it's $149 to sign on. But it really depends on where you want to go. So every brokerage has a different sign-on cost for new agents. You look at the sign-on cost, but then you also want to look at what is provided to you and what the recurring fee is. I'm just going to speak for my brokerage, EXP. It's a $149 sign-on fee, which includes your first month, and KV Core and a whole other stuff. So KV Core, if you weren't with EXP, is $600. It's actually a lead gen thing and website. It's really nice. Definitely really nice. I mean, it's $600, so, but it's included in EXP. You don't pay the $600. So after that initial $149 fee, you pay $85 a month. So it's not that much forever. I don't know about some other brokerages, but I know that EXP is cheaper because we don't have desk fees. We don't have any of that overhead that we have to pay for, that other people pay for in their monthly fees. So that's nice. that saves a little bit of money in the long run. So, okay, let's go over this again. We have pre-licensing, we have the taking the test, so like $600 plus, I'm just gonna keep this on my calculator to keep us accountable. So we have 500 plus 100 plus, I said it was 149. So we are at $749 so far to get your license. So at this point specifically, you are active. Now, depending on where you're at, you might have to become a realtor. So being a realtor, you can look up perks and all of that, but let me just give you a briefing. You get more forms, you get more perks, and just stuff like that. It's kind of more training. It's kind of just like another certification you can get, and EXP specifically, everybody's a realtor there, so you do have to get that on your own. It's not like a class or anything, you just sign up for it. It does cost money though. Along with that cost, you have to factor in MLS fees. So the MLS, the multiple listing service, with any brokerage, you have to pay for that. So I think some of them include it in their monthly fees. EXP does not. So you have to pay for that so you can obviously look up houses, have people look up your houses and all that stuff. My whopping fee, now this is more upfront. As soon as I have the data for the quarterly payments, which are quarterly dues for that, I will update you in another video, but I'm still waiting on that. But the upfront fee, I believe, was $850, give or take with tax. So that gives us a grand total of $1,599, which is a lot so far for an 18-year-old to pay, right, out of pocket. And these are all things you have to do, because you have to get pre-licensed, you have to take the test, you have to sign on to a brokerage. To be active at, most brokerages, you have to be a realtor and have access to the MLS, right? This $1,599, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make this video because I keep seeing, I saw TikTok that said it costs $200 to get your license. I was like, girl, I don't know where you are going, but maybe they're talking just to take the pre-licensing course, or it's somewhere else. I don't know. I'm in North Carolina, so it could be somewhere that it's just you pay a fee and you take the test. I don't know. I just wanted to be very, very blunt, because if I thought it was $200 and I went in and took the $200 pre-licensing, and then I ended up having to pay pretty much $1,600, I'd be like, oh, that's not $200. And especially being young and not having a whole lot of money saved up for that, like I saved up over $2,000 in savings, so I have a buffer, but that's still a big chunk of money for somebody who's also trying to make payments on a car and trying to now at this point, once you're signed on, some people pay for leads. I'm doing YouTube and I'm doing social media, which is free, and working my sphere, and that's working perfectly fine. And once you make some sales and you have money for it, you can totally put money into advertising. I think that's smart. But yeah, this is just kind of the basic cost of it, and I wanted to share that so you guys were aware of have the hiccups now, so that's fun. I am actually very curious. Let me know if you are not from North Carolina and you're a realtor, or you are getting your license and you know the price. Tell me. I would love to know how much it costs in different states to get your license, because I'd love to be educated on that. And there's a couple other states I'm looking at getting licensed in as well, potentially. So I would love to weigh the pros and cons on that. If you are in North Carolina with a different brokerage, and if you're not with EXP and you have different start-on fees, go ahead, you can comment those below just so everybody can see what the start-up fees are for their budget, and so that they can budget this. Because if I didn't know, I had an idea. I heard it was going to be over $1,000 or about $1,000. I didn't think it was going to be $600 over $1,000, but everything's different. You can choose where to save. Maybe you want to learn more remotely and take the risk and do the $200 course, or do one that's cheaper. I think there's some, maybe $200 at like community colleges. That's another option for you. I know some people who took them at community colleges and did not do well though, so that's just personal experience. But at least now you're informed, and now you can make a wise decision. Obviously this is much cheaper than a 4-year degree you may or may not use. So I would just weigh that and weigh, okay, you're paying pretty much $1,600 to get into it, but if you sell a house, like you have, that's a easy commission. More than that is a commission, right? So opportunity cost, right? How much do you want this? How bad do you want this business? Like how bad do you want to be in this business, and how bad do you want to sell? Because if you're not going to sell, you lost $1,600. But if you sell a house, you pretty much make that back, right? So I think for me, yeah, it's a lot for when I was, you know, an 18-year-old getting into the business. I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. But I think over time it will pay off. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and feel free to contact me at any point if you have any questions or anything. Everything's in the description box below. Go ahead and turn on the post notifications, like the little bell thing you do, and click subscribe if you'd like to be notified of future posts. If you give me a thumbs up, that really helps me with the algorithms, so we can get this out to more viewers who are curious about getting their real estate license just like you. I will reach out if you text or call or email. In the description, everything's down there. But yes, I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in my new videos. Bye guys!